Doctors are doctors wherever they are, as the study and art of medicine has no boundaries. Today I'm going to talk to 4 highly respected international doctors from different backgrounds, with different attitudes to life, but are bound together by a common interest, medicine. These 4 doctors are meeting for the first time to discuss and exchange ideas on modern medicine, development of medical care, and of course about life in general. The first person I'm going to talk to is Dr. Ian Connors. He's a consultant at the Bangkok Hospital, Pattaya. He also writes for Pattaya Mail and a presenter for PMTV. And this is our own Dr. Ian Connors. Hello, doctor.
Hello there, Sue, and may I say how nice it is to be on this side of the microphone and not that side of the microphone.
It's not your first time, is it?
Oh, almost.
Almost the first time. First of all, Dr. Ian, tell us, how many countries have you been to and how many years have you practiced medicine?
Ooh, I'm going to show my age. I have been a doctor now for 40 years. I've practiced in the UK, in Europe, in Spain, and Australia, and now Thailand. And of course, when we talk about medical practice, my usual reply is, and I'll get it right one day.
Which comes to my next question. Did you ever get it right? And were you ever a specialist of any kind?
Yes, I was a foundation member of the Australian College of Occupational Medicine, so I am an occupational health physician. But I also ran a family medical practice, and I think I probably enjoy family medicine more than anything else.
Family medicine meaning like a family doctor?
Yes, yeah. General practitioner in some countries, but when you really get into family medicine and the fact that you're dealing with a complete cohesive group, it becomes more interesting.
What brought you to Thailand?
About this high with long black hair. No. This is the honest truth, Sue. I came here in 1975. I had just been through a horrendous divorce. I was sort of burnt out, if you like. A friend of mine had a business interest here in Thailand, and he said, "Come on, mate, you're going to Thailand, you're going to have a holiday." And I literally made up my mind on the Friday, and we hopped on the plane on the Saturday. We arrived at the old Don Muang airport, and I stood on the bitumen, and I turned to my mate and I said, "I'm home."
You know, I was thinking about the same thing, but the other way around, that, hop on the plane, go to Australia and settle down.
Don't. It's expensive.
But my baht won't make it, so it's not going to happen. Now, Dr. Ian, you've been here long enough, of course, what you're telling us. You've been here so long that you understand so much of the Thai culture, so much so that you wrote a book called Farang. It's basically about life of Farang in Thailand. Is it also about life of Thai people in Thailand?
No, it's Thailand through the eyes of an expat. So I go to things. I mean, I go to Vientiane 3 times round the temple and things like this. But it's written from the Farang perspective, and I think I sort of can show differences between the two cultures without crossing the cultures and getting anybody upset.
Okay, so yours is a bit different from other books that we see on the shelves, like Private Dancer or what have you, right?
There are no dead buffaloes in my book.
Not even sick ones?
Not even a sick one.
All right. Now back to the meeting tonight. What initiated this meeting, and what is the purpose? What do you want to gain out of this?
Well, I don't know that we actually sort of came up with a concept with a purpose. The common thread with us all is that we are Farangs, and we're all still working in some way or another, or with medicine. That's the common thing. Even although we come from such totally different backgrounds, we come from totally different cultures, and our specialties in medicine have been totally different. But there is something about medicine that once you become a doctor, you're always a doctor. You can't walk away from it. So we haven't walked away from it. We're advisors, we're consultants, and that's the common thing for us all.
So far, with your chit-chatting before the interviews and stuff, have you learned anything new, something different, or you have any common conclusion in the first part of the dinner?
Well, in the first part, we've all come to the conclusion that the worst patient in the world is the one who walks in with a sheaf of computer printouts from the internet about a particular disease that they're quite sure they have, and they haven't. So their original diagnosis is wrong, and all these sheets of paper are irrelevant. But how do you get that through to the patient without being rude, without upsetting the patient? And that's part of the art of medicine.
How do you do it then?
It takes 40 years, so...
To say that, oops, you went on the wrong website?
I mean, I tell the story about myself, that when I graduated and I got my shiny silver badge, I could have diagnosed the 8th beta cell adenoma of the pancreas that had ever been found in the world. But I didn't know what to do about tonsillitis in children, which is so common. And that, I think, is a reflection on the medical training. You're trained for all these exotic, wonderful things, but the ordinary day-to-day things you generally pick up from the nursing staff.
So you're a consultant at the Bangkok Hospital Pattaya now. You deal with a lot of patients. Who are the ones who, besides the stacks of papers from the internet, who are the pain in the behind types?
Oh, come on. You want me to name names?
Let's say the types, not the names.
Honestly, I never find any patients a right pain in the bottom. They may sort of go on about something which is not really terribly important, but for them it is. So from my point of view, I should try to sort of defuse their anxiety. And as part of my function at the hospital, I am there to advise, and I can then take the patient through to the Thai doctor who deals with this. But by the time I've taken him there, I've defused the situation, and the patient, I think, actually sort of appreciates the fact that there was a native English speaker there who he feels, all right, understands me. Because communication is so important in medicine.
Especially when you're sick and you know that somebody understands you. That's very
right.
important.
I mean, in Australia, the biggest complaint that patients have is they go to see the doctor and they come out 15 minutes later and they have no idea what the doctor was talking about. When you come to Thailand or a foreign country, this problem is even greater. So this is where it's important that I do work in this communications area so that the patient feels comfortable that they've been listened to, that the person listening to them has understood this, and I can then take them to the Thai doctor who can then treat them.
So now you know that even if you're pain in the butt, you can always come to Dr. Ian and he will defuse the critical situation before it reaches the meltdown stage. Thank you very much, Dr. Ian.
Sue, thank you. It's great that you've come along and you're going to meet all the whole four of us, the four musketeers, and I am looking forward to some of Louis Noel's lovely food. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm now with Dr. William Van Uwick, an honorable member of the Rotary Club Jom Tien. Dr. Uwick is a third-generation pharmacist who did many clinical trials and research on new drugs and also studied pharmacology at Stanford Research Institute. Dr. William, did you specialize in any particular drug you studied?
Yes, after my study general pharmacology, I went into the field of clinical immunology. That's my specialty. So I worked for the Pasteur Institute and I developed and patented all kinds of vaccines. And my biggest success was to translate the injectables for children into sublingual, a drop under the tongue, vaccines for hay fever, for house mite allergy. And well, these patents are gone already, but it's nice because it makes you more or less immortal. The United States Patent Office has to keep this in the records forever and 3 days. Yeah. But my specialty for the last 10 years, 15 years, is the non-toxic tumor treatment, so cancer. And I'm retired, but I still do some research and I still have some special ideas about this horrible disease, cancer. The reason that I did it is that I walk around already 15 years in bonus time with my own prostate cancer, which you can control. You cannot cure, but you can control. And there is the progress in the whole field of this, let's say, cancer industry is in the diagnosis, in the diagnostics. Therapeutic, it's still the same. Surgery is first choice. Then you have this radiation and you have chemotherapy, but there is not so many progress. And you should be careful what kind of treatment you should take, because most of the patients die from the treatment, not from the cancer.
That's what I think, from the radiation and chemotherapy.
Yes.
What's your idea about these things? Would you recommend it, or you think that if this is the only choice, or think that it's 50-50 anyway?
In medicine there is no hasib, cannot. But if you should make the choice very carefully and not too quick. And in children with leukemia, 8 years till 12 years, they can cure with chemotherapy. Why? Because their immune system is more or less naive. But in older people like me, the chemo will kill me. So and that's why I refuse all this. And I'm 15 years in bonus time, and I enjoy every day.
So what did you do then? You didn't get any chemotherapy? Or
No. I take daily drip infusions with high doses vitamin C, and I did a special chelation treatment. Very complicated, but it was easy. I lived the last 20 years in Saint-Paul-de-Vence, that's a famous village in the south of France, and I had my private nurse and my clinic, so I could even treat patients when I had the drip infusion. And I take a special extract from human placenta.
Okay, so we're coming to that point.
Yeah.
You wrote a book on placenta, the lost organ. It sounds like a Hollywood movie to me, but what is it?
Well, it is that there is a similarity between pregnancy and cancer, because both are uncontrolled cell dividing. But in the placenta, which is an organ, every day they find new compounds in it, there is a substance who stop this dividing of the cells. And that's a similarity with a tumor. And if you can find this, I can tell you the name, is a trophoblast antagonist and blah blah blah, medical. But if you can produce and find the substance from human placenta who stop dividing cells, then you have in fact a biological anti-cancer compound in your hand. And I put that on my website. That's true. Yeah.
What is the success rate?
That's not so easy, because what we get is patients who has already so many different treatments, and if there is already chemotherapy, the immune system is almost kaput, and my product will not work. No. Stem cells is another story, and stem cell treatment for cancer, that's not ready at all. I know that there are some Chinese clinics, but you should not do that. If you have cancer, you should go to Germany. Germany is the most advanced, has the most advanced clinic to treat cancer, especially with hyperthermia in combination with a little bit of chemotherapy. That is, then you have success. Yeah. I like to state that if in the universe there was a first prize for the best invention, it should go to the human body, and in this case, to my body.
It's very true. I mean, human body is very complex. It's very efficient.
Yeah.
In curing a lot of things on its own. You just have to know how to do it.
Yeah.
Not just depend on medicine.
That's correct. Yeah.
Anything you'd like to add?
No, I'm a very happy man.
And you're living in Thailand?
6 years I live here, and I must say I'm in 6 years here more happy than 20 years in the Côte d'Azur. I'm a content person. Yeah.
I think that's the main, that's the key to it all, to be content, to be happy where you are, and the rest will take care of itself.
It's true.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, man.
Dr. Philip Sir is French, and he came to Thailand more than 20 years ago. He actually sailed here from Versailles to Saudi Arabia and then to Pattaya because he wanted to have a vacation and rest. But that never happened. Why?
Why? Because after this rest, which is so happy time, then one friend of mine had HIV/AIDS disease, and I decided to help my friend. And then I got some other people who know me who had the same disease. And now, till today, is 12 years after, 1,076 patients already that I have helped with this disease as a friend.
What is the difference? If you're a specialist about HIV and AIDS, what do you have to do special than what a normal doctor would do?
Yeah, I think it's about any good doctor is an experienced doctor. You know, you see a lot of patients, and then you, like any professional who has a lot of practice, then it can be good. So here it is about the quantitative challenge also to adapt, but it's about, you know, to give some heart. It is the medical knowledge, the experience, but it is also a very special disease which can touch so many people in our community. And in Thailand the problem is huge, no? Because you have about 1 million Thai people with HIV infection. And thanks to the development of the public and private national schemes, no? The NHSO and the SSO, now you have about 200,000 Thai people who are on free ARV. You know, that is free medical care, and there is also free medical care with antiretroviral drugs. But not all ARV are free yet, and you have so many challenges beyond the ARV proper. So that's why you need to develop a competence and a special fiber to attend to the needs of the people with HIV/AIDS.
When you said that there are more than 1 million people affected by HIV, is this an official number or is it?
Yeah, so there were altogether 1 million Thai people infected with HIV disease. This is the official number of the Ministry of Public Health in Thailand. And a lot of patients died before that there was a proper answer, a scientific, medical, and finally public health answer, I mean, in the public infrastructure. Now we have it, you know, it came with a special project, the NAPA project, then the 30 baht scheme, and now we have the universal care in Thailand. We call this NHSO in English, Soposocho in Thai, or the Prakan Songkhom, the SSO. And I told you this number is about nearly 200,000 Thai people who are now on free ARV care.
But if over 1 million is an official number, what do you think is the real number?
This is the estimation. Everybody is working with this estimation. Yeah.
You have to just go with that number.
Yeah.
In your own opinion, what is the situation really like now with HIV/AIDS in Thailand and around the world?
Yeah. So there is a stabilization worldwide of the number of persons with HIV/AIDS disease. Fortunately, we have a stabilization, and one explanation of this stabilization is globally there is less new infections, and also globally the number is estimated at 40 million, and you have 6 million plus people who are already on treatment worldwide. So it is explaining why you have a limitation, because the treatment is a very good thing for the secondary prevention. You know, somebody on medicine is not contagious anymore. This is very important news, because now we are faced at the same time with some new infection, especially in subgroup of our community, and everybody should know that there is treatment for HIV infection. No need to wait for AIDS. A lot of people are and they should have a test, like President Obama said. You know, take the test, take control of your problem, because in case you are in good health, but the blood test proves positive for HIV infection, then the next step is to go and see a doctor. And then if we see that the immune cells are going down, the CD4 cells, we can give treatment, which I repeat is free now in Thailand, to prevent AIDS, to prevent the acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. And then you keep your normal life. I repeat, you are not contagious anymore. And then it's okay. Still at the same time, we see some people who did not, for whatever reasons, accept that they cannot accept that they are HIV positive. But when we give proper explanation, when you want a test, it is anonymous.
What about prevention, like education and all that in Thailand? What is being done about this?
Yeah, so this is very important, because we want not only to have a specific information on some target